Hey guys,
Hey,
it's Haley
and Ashley.
and this is What the Podcast. How's gorgeous?
Beautiful.
This is the jumpstart of our music career.
Oh my god. I wish I could sing. I'd give
You kind of
anything
pop
to sing.
off as a duo. There's not many duos these days.
You're right. Maybe there's a
mean-
reason though.
They've been waiting on us, baby. How have you guys been? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah, preach it. It's just kind of like a
bleh.
yeah. I was
I
gonna
feel
say
bleh, 'cause I've
somber, but
slept
it's
all
not
day.
somber. It's just like it's just a weird day. I'm like,
I'm moody.
yeah.
I feel like I always come on here and talk about how moody I am though.
I was so moody yesterday. Like I was in a horrible mood yesterday. And I think today I'm still feeling the effects of it. Like I have what's like carryover moodiness or something.
Yeah.
I'm not in like a terrible mood. I'm just like feel like out of
I'm
it.
not in a bad mood per se. It's
Mhm.
more or less like I've slept all day because I was off work today. Holla.
Mhm.
But I just feel out of it. Like I feel like I just woke up.
From a nap or something, like a really
Yeah.
long nap.
I slept until 1 and then I got up at 1 and I kind of moved around and then I went back to sleep at 2
Mm-hmm.
and then I woke up at 3.
How does your body like allow you to sleep that long?
I have no idea, but
That's crazy.
magical. And then I fell back asleep until 4 and I woke up.
Your body just needed the rest.
I guess.
Do you feel? I mean, well,
No,
right now
I feel
you feel
tired.
blech, but you'll still be sleep tonight.
Oh, I'll sleep like a baby tonight. It's weird.
My like brain has an alarm clock. Even like on the weekends, I'm up at 8:00. I'm not going back to bed. I'm up.
Dude, I could sleep for like 2 days straight and not.
I wish that'd be nice.
I don't know why though. I almost hate it because I constantly feel like I am tired,
Just the fatigue.
even when I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know I'm not tired. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You just feel like
Constantly feel like I could sleep.
yeah.
I don't know if it's the medicine I'm on that makes me that way, but I've always been a big sleeper.
Mhm.
So, but I also struggled with insomnia when I was growing up really bad.
Really.
Yeah. I had to
Hmm.
take meds for it.
You'd stay up like
All night.
night owl? Really?
Yep.
How did you function the next day? Just
Sleep.
like, oh yeah.
I mean, I can function on a couple hours of sleep and be fine.
That's wild to me. Wild.
I've done it millions of times.
The morning after that concert, I was like, I can never do that again.
See, I'm okay with doing stuff like that. Like, I'm okay with go to bed super late and waking up super early. Now,
Oh,
do
no.
am I the pleasantest person to be around? No. But James says I'm not a morning person. And I was like, that's funny because I get up every morning at 5:00. I don't know
Yeah.
how that doesn't make me a morning
yeah.
person. He's like, you're mean in the mornings. I pretend to be asleep until you leave. Like,
Dang.
okay.
Sorry about you.
Yeah. Apparently I'm mean.
No, you're not.
But I get ready in like 15 minutes and then I'm out the door.
Yeah. That's a skill. That is a skill. Today, guys, we're going to be talking
Did you
about...
do notes?
No.
Oh, okay, good. 'Cause I didn't either.
No. This is straight from the internet. We're going to be talking about something that has been really widely covered in the media, news. It's been all over the news. It's been all over social media. You guys probably are pretty familiar with it. It's the 8 passengers controversy. More specifically, Ruby Franke, the mother.
Ruby Franke
Frankie.
with an E.
Sorry, Ruby.
Yeah.
8 Passengers was a pretty popular, like, family vlog, but they were always like
They have a
people
couple
always thought they
billion
were
on
so weird.
YouTube, I think.
Yeah, they do.
I never followed them.
I never.
I
did
remember
either.
when the video came out about her being upset about the music at school.
Yes,
I remember when that came out.
I would always see clips like on YouTube Shorts and like TikTok of this was like before all this kind of popped off, but people have just always thought that she was so like weird.
Yeah.
And just like had a way out there parenting style.
She did.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Do you want to kind of go over a little bit of what has been popping off?
Okay, so what had happened was
Tell it.
A guy was chilling at home and he got a knock on his door and it was a child.
This all takes place in Utah, by the way. I feel
Yeah,
like
I'm
that's
shocked.
Very important.
I'm shocked it happened in Utah.
Bad things are always happening.
I've said it on the podcast before. It's something's in the water in Idaho, Utah, and
those Midwestern states. Like, what is happening?
I don't know. I mean, there was a common denominator, but I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
Anyway, anyway, so a kid knocks on the door. He answers it, and the kid has duct tape around his wrist and ankles, apparently, and sores and super skinny.
Severely malnourished.
Yeah. And he's asking for food and water.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy instantly calls the police, and the 911 phone call is very hard to listen to.
It is.
Because he starts crying. The guy does.
Yeah.
And it was very just like...
That's got to be like, imagine you're just at home
mm-hmm.
and a kid and you can tell they are like traumatized.
Yeah.
That has to be so traumatic. I mean, even for the people at home, and hard to see as a parent.
Yeah.
Or anybody. I mean, anybody with a heart.
Yeah.
Know. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
So anyway, so they stay outside with him on the front porch, and they wait for the police and medics to get there. And come to find out, he tells them that he was at Jody Hildebrandt's, I think that's how you say her name.
Yeah.
House, and he didn't really go into detail about them like starving him or anything like that. At least like not publicly, like to that guy. He didn't say anything like that, but you can easily tell he was.
Mm-hmm.
And so the police come. He has a sister that's in the home as well with Jody. And from my understanding, court documents say that they found handcuffs, duct tape, rope. And I think that's it.
That's all I can remember.
Yeah.
Rope, because he had lacerations or like,
around
cuts
his wrist
and stuff from rope.
Man, fuck them.
Jody, she's a pretty integral part of this too, because just kind of giving some background, Ruby Franke, like kind of as we mentioned before, had this family vlog on YouTube, and they'd been running for quite a few years, and they've got quite a few kids, and so they were putting YouTubes on video from the time these kids were pretty young to now most of them are, kind of older. Yeah.
I think 2 are out of the house.
Yes. Yeah. But Ruby Franke and Jody Hildebrandt have like very similar, I guess, parenting methods and just views on life.
I don't think, does Jody have children?
I don't know. Honestly.
I don't think she does.
We can look it up. But they somewhat recently start this, I don't know if it's a program called Connections. And basically they've got it's a YouTube platform and I think a podcast. Is it a podcast?
I think it's a podcast. I think they have a website and
they do these videos. It's very like one-on-one, and they're talking about their experiences with parenting or just how to raise children. They give
and the
examples.
Truth.
Yes. And
they
the
keep
truth.
Talking about the truth.
It's like this.
It's based on the Mormon church, by the way.
But it's got very culty undertones.
Very much so.
Yeah. I don't even know if you could call them undertones at that point. It's very culty.
Very culty, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Jody. So Jody is a therapist or a counselor.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd qualify her as a therapist, but she's a counselor.
Yeah.
I think there is a difference. But she specializes in marriage counseling and sex addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And so from interviews I've watched recently of couples that were in her, she did a class with like 5 couples, and a couple of them came forward and said that she split them up between the men and the women. she went to the women and convinced them that all the men admitted to all these sex addictions that they have and the porn addictions and all those things to their wives. And ended up a bunch of them divorced their husbands, because she also said to one of the wives that your husband said that he's into children and stuff like that. And he was like, I never said that. Like, that is not something, we never even talked about that stuff with her.
Wow.
And his wife divorced him, and now he's suing her for I'm sure, is it malpractice? I don't know if
that
that's the
would
right
be
word,
considered, but counselors,
she got suspended, because this was before all this came out. He was suing her, and she got her license suspended for like a year and a half. And so her like main objective is for women to leave their spouses, which is very odd. Yeah. That's what makes it kind of culty, because even Ruby left her husband after going to counseling with Jody.
Yeah. And they had been, Ruby and her husband had been on this YouTube channel together. I don't know that he was as Kevin. I don't know that he was as prevalent on it, because I'll be honest, I did not watch their YouTube videos. All I've seen are clips from their past videos, like before all this kind of popped off. But she's like really the front runner for this family YouTube channel. Yeah, Ruby. Yes, and she, you can just tell she's out there. Like, let's talk about some of her parenting methods. Okay. So like for instance, some examples, like the one video that came across me before I knew about all this was she went to the school. No, 2 videos. She went to the school and talked to the principal about the music they play during a dance or something like that. Like a school, you know how the dance like team does like a, or something. Yeah. Just like a routine, and they did a song to something about shaking your butt. I don't know. And she started crying in her car. She was like having an episode. Yes, because she couldn't believe that they were like not siding with her over the music. So that's the first video. And then the second video is of her coming on there and saying, I remember when this video came out, she said, my 5-year-old daughter didn't pack her own lunch, and she went to school without a lunch. And then her teacher texted me and told me, hey, can you bring a lunch up here for her? And she said, no, it's her responsibility to pack her own lunch. If she doesn't bring it, then she doesn't get food. And then she was in the video saying, well, I hope no one caves and gives her food. Yeah, she was very like, she needs to learn her lesson. Nobody better give her food, so that she knows that this is her responsibility. Yeah. She would take away their beds. Oh my gosh, that one was insane to me. Like for months at a time. 7 months. Yeah. She took her like 16-year-old's bedroom away, and he had to sleep on the floor for 7 months because he didn't learn his lesson, because he hung his little brother from the basketball hoop for like a split second. They're just such extreme. Yes. Just extremes. Point blank. And in the video where her son was talking about not having a bed for 7 months, she kind of like chuckles, like, I don't think they know that, you know. Yeah. Like, we hadn't talked about that on the channel before. But I just don't understand. How can you not have an outside view? Like, when you go back to watch, I think it's because she so truly and honestly believes that those are the correct methods, that she does not see the wrongdoing. Yeah. And then she made a comment in one video that was like, yeah, I'd keep them home from school and have them scrub the floorboards if I knew how much pain it would cause them. And I'm like, what a miserable your job person. Is not to inflict pain on your children. Right. For them to learn a lesson. Yep. Which is like, I was watching some videos about her today, and like, I almost felt bad, not for her necessarily, but like, you could tell she loved her kids to an extent just by the way, like, they sat in her lap and like all that stuff, like, to an extent. But then there was that one video of her, she was like, she said it on a podcast where she was like, I'm going to go up and take a nap. Yes, I was just. And you 4 and 5-year-olds. They were so young. Stay on the couch and do not move. Yeah. And then she did. She went to take a nap. and left her 4 and 5-year-old unattended and told them several times, don't get up from the couch. I'm going to put a movie on. Do not go into the kitchen, because apparently she was like going to get dinner ready or something after she woke up from the nap. And the kids went in there and got some food because they were hungry. She woke up from her nap, went into the kitchen, and she said the floor was like sticky from where the kids had been eating.
Mm-hmm.
And then what did she make them do?
She didn't make them do anything. I don't know what she made them do after that. But I know that she got down on all fours and licked it to find out what it was.
Yep.
And she was like, I know all these parents know that you do that. And I'm like, no,
girl,
honey, I've never licked the floor after my kid spilled something.
It just is wild to me that it's so like, why are these the lessons that you're teaching them? If your kid's hungry, your kid is hungry.
Let him eat.
Like, and maybe don't leave them unattended to go take a nap.
Yeah.
I get it. You're tired. You've got a billion kids.
Sleep on the couch.
It's just wild.
Take a little nappy nap.
I have no sympathy. Mm-mm. When you became a parent, you took on responsibilities of your own volition. And I just don't get it.
A parent of 6, might I add.
I just don't get it. I do not get it.
I don't know. So anyway, Ruby's a shit parent and her parenting methods suck. Kevin's not really in the picture. Oh, and then to top it all off, they sent the 16-year-old to some wilderness camp where they had to sleep on the forced floor for what was it, like 6 weeks or something?
It was like a summer. It was like a full, like, camp. It wasn't like a weekend thing.
And it was I don't know the details of the camp, but I know it's something not good.
No. It's like one of those,
like the ones Dr. Phil sends you to.
Like the ranch.
Yeah, the ranch.
Getting sent to the ranch. Yeah. Basically the same. It's like what do you call that?
Where they pretty much torment kids the entire time.
To like instill things into them. But like really it's just a cult.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
But Jody, I don't think she has kids.
Let me look it up.
I don't think she has kids. I know she has a niece because her niece came out with an interview. And she said that Jody did the same things to her where she would tie her up and make her think that she was a sex addict, even though she was only 16 and has never even thought about it.
That's wild.
And like, she ended up running away at like 16 or 17.
Oh my gosh. Listen to this. I just read this on people.com. According to documents obtained by news outlets, police claim that disgraced therapist Jody Hildebrandt used cayenne pepper and honey paste to dress wounds on her podcasting partner, Ruby Franke's 2 youngest children, who were taken to the hospital last month after the 2 women were arrested and later charged with 6 counts of felony child abuse. Literally would put cayenne pepper on their
open wounds.
That's child abuse. Literally.
I hope they get like 30 years.
I hope so too. Well, Ruby's oldest daughter does not speak to her parents ever since she left the house.
Did you see the dad try to get her arrested?
The oldest daughter?
Uh-huh.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So the police raided the home, I guess.
Yeah.
And from mine, I've read 2 different sources where they said that the police broke down the door, but then I saw his attorney said something else, like somebody else broke down the door. Mm-hmm. But nothing was stolen that he knows of. And apparently the oldest daughter entered the home. And Kevin wants her arrested for burglary.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, here it is. The Salt Lake Tribune.
Yeah.
Ruby Franke case. Kevin Franke tried to have eldest daughter arrested. Search warrant shows. Yeah, Sherry. Sherry Franke is the older daughter. Let's see. But records released to the Salt Lake Tribune this week show Franke's 2 older children weren't there, prompting a search in Springville, more than 250 miles north, where Franke lived. The documents state those 2 kids were ultimately found safe in the care of another apparent colleague of Franke's.
Yep. What is her name? What was her name? I don't remember her name, but they think that she's involved on it. Because Ruby, as soon as Ruby found out the 2 kids were found, she went and called this other lady. I want to say her name's Tammy, but I could be wrong. I I don't think it's Tammy, but we'll call her Tammy in this sense. She called Tammy, and Tammy was like, went and picked up the 2 other kids before the police could get there.
So that the windows were like covered with, blinds and curtains so they couldn't see.
Yeah.
So they'd been knocking, but nobody came to the door.
Yeah. And apparently CPS has been to their house on like 11 other cases because so many people were reporting them.
I'm sure just based on the things that were in their YouTube videos.
And it was like in the works to have the kids removed.
Said around that time, Ruby Franke had arrived at a neighbor's house. The Brigham Young University student cut ties with her family last year after her mother began working with Hildebrandt on their online self-improvement program called Connections. She has previously expressed concern for her younger siblings. In September of 2022, she asked Springville police officers to check on her younger siblings, whom she said had been left home alone for 5 days to make sure they had enough food for the extended period. At the time, police responded and the kids appeared to be home, but no one came to the door. That is wild. To have that platform, even if you believe that your beliefs are correct, to have that kind of platform, why, in today's day and age, would you not recognize that as not okay?
Yeah, especially when everybody's telling you it's not okay.
When CPS comes to your home 11 times, there's a common denominator.
I don't know if it was 11, but I'm pretty sure it was around that number.
Look at what's the common occurrence? It's not everybody else, It's something that you're doing. It's just wild. Let's see what else.
15 visits.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the day that this all kind of came out, Sherry posted on her Instagram like justice has been served because she was worried about her siblings. She'd cut ties with her parents because of their...
I'm surprised the brother hasn't came out yet.
That's what I'm saying. Because he got quite a bit of it.
Yeah, he did.
Having to sleep on the floor for 7 months.
Go to that camp.
I just can't,
I think the brother ended up moving in with Kevin eventually.
Did he?
I want to say I read that too. But Kevin apparently had, because his attorney was talking about, someone was interviewing his attorney and asked the question, why didn't Kevin intervene? And he was like, well, he didn't know. He hadn't talked to them in months. So he had nothing to do with the kids for months.
Wow. Well, Ruby has sisters, and
yes.
They apparently were extremely concerned. So they were all also pretty happy not happy.
Well, they came out with a statement. One of them came out with a statement. I don't know what it was. And then it got deleted because she was getting so much hate about it. And then the second sister came out with a statement. She was getting a lot of hate about it.
Because basically the statements were saying, like, we've recognized this behavior for a long time, but it really wasn't our place to do anything, essentially is kind of what it was saying.
Yeah.
But everybody was like, yeah, here it is. This is just the sisters. It reads, for the last 3 years, we have kept quiet on the subject of our sister, Ruby Franke, for the sake of her children. Behind the public scene, we have done everything we could to try and make sure the kids were safe. We wouldn't feel right about moving forward with regular content without addressing the most recent events. Once we do, we will not be commenting on it further. Ruby was arrested, which needed to happen. Jody was arrested, which needed to happen. The kids are now safe, which is the number one priority.
I'm sorry, but if my brother was abusing his children,
yeah,
you damn well
you can't take a back seat and be like, well, that's not really my place.
Yeah.
It's kids. It's kids. I don't know. I can't. I have no sympathy.
I don't have sympathy for them either. I felt like I was getting some sympathy for Ruby in the sense of like her brain is just so brainwashed. But then again, I'm like, no, like Is it the church?
How do you get in a, how do you,
I just want to know where it stems from, because this was all going on before she met Jody.
right. Well, that's my point. She was this way when her and Kevin were together.
Yeah.
Maybe not to as an extremist
She
extent.
didn't believe in giving them Christmas presents. They need to learn gratitude and stuff like that. And like, I'm sorry, but like,
it's just, they're just extreme methods of her thinking that they need to learn all these lessons.
Where did she learn this though? Like, you learn from somewhere.
I mean, it's got to be her parents, the way she grew up.
Well, her sisters aren't like that, and her sisters seemed oblivious to it.
I don't know. I mean, it's Utah.
And I hate to blame it on the church. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, nothing against people that are Mormon.
Right.
Like, absolutely nothing. Because
no, it's, I mean,
but
it's just,
is it the church she's attending is more or less what I'm going at.
They could be, they could have a certain set of guidelines or like things they believe, and then all these people come together, which is kind of what church is about. But it could just be a really niche like type of church.
Yeah.
But I just can't understand. I know I keep saying that, but it's just so crazy to me that
freaking Utah, man.
What a coincidence. There's a common denominator.
Yeah.
In Utah. I'm sorry, but
I hate it. I mean, I don't want to blame, like, I don't want people to think I'm talking about Mormons, because I'm not. There's good Mormons out there. But I'm saying, like, her church can have a 50-person congregation and they be teaching the wrongful things.
Right.
And that itself turns into a cult in a way.
All it takes, this is the thing. If you're spewing like really harmful ideas to a group of people
who are open-minded to it,
who believe enough and it incentivizes them enough.
Yeah.
All it takes is that one person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't take the whole group.
It's a bunch of sheep.
Somebody's going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Passionate enough about that to go and turn it into something horrific.
Yeah. I think, and that's the thing, like, not to get into religion by any means, but like,
that's not where we want this to turn, but just generally speaking.
But like, yeah, I've been in some situations where like they're spewing some things and like people are in the audience are going like this. Yeah. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think that's what it is something that someone taught her this. I don't think it was her parents. I genuinely don't think it was her parents. I think somebody taught her this.
Maybe she,
and then Jody just fed on it.
Like sometimes people get to such a vulnerable state in their lives that they're really just looking for something to grasp to that gives them that stability. And I think maybe, and obviously we don't know anything for fact. This is just speculation.
Right.
But maybe that provided her something that she just really felt that she needed.
Or she was good at, or her kids needed or something. And it's just wild though, how your brain can be so brainwashed to think that.
You would think that.
But why does this all happen? Like, for instance, like, I was watching a podcast today of the House of Horrors. You know where that comes from? Yeah. Like that family that abused their children or whatever.
The Turpin?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about it, so I'm not even going to like go into that. But another family apparently is being...
I saw that.
They're being... what's the word? Compared to the House of Horrors thing. And I'm just like, it's in their brain. Like, it's like, I don't know if it's like a brain defect or something. You know what I mean? That like, they just don't have that something in their frontal lobe. I don't really know that stuff, but.
The Turpin kids, there were 13 and they ranged from 2 years old to 29 years old.
I don't know anything about it.
That could be a whole episode.
Yeah.
But basically these two parents had all these kids. They were all living in the same house. And they were just like abusing their kids, and they were like all malnourished. Some of the kids like didn't even know proper English. Like they were chained to their beds. They were not fed. Like the girl that escaped, she somehow called the police. She had never been outside. So like she didn't even know how to tell them where she was because she didn't know what a street sign was.
Yeah.
She'd never been outside.
It's just like, where does it come from? Like, it's got to be something in the brain. You know what I mean? Like something like...
Yeah, it's like a mental...
But then it's like, how do two people find each other that are both mentally like that?
I don't know. I mean...
Like a husband and wife. How do they... It's like, for instance, Ruby Franke and Kevin, I don't know how they met, but I bet it has something to do with the church.
Yeah.
I mean, again, not blaming all churches by any means, but, or even their church. Their church could be freaking fantastic.
We don't know. Like, we're genuinely clueless.
But I'm like, I'm just trying to find, like, where...
How did this begin?
How do two people become so like-minded?
And something that's so wildly...
out there.
Right. The only thing that I can think of other than just... I mean, because what a coincidence.
Yeah.
But people stay with their partners for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
And sometimes fear is the reason to stay with somebody. But I just can't, like... And I don't even have kids. But your kids being in a situation that is volatile for them, that is abusive.
Yeah.
How could you...
Yeah.
How could you stay?
I think he's just as much to blame as Ruby.
Oh, I agree 100%.
But even like my own like personal relationship, we disagree on punishments and stuff like that. We don't see eye to eye when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I just can't. How do you meet somebody that's so like on board with
the type of
the crazy?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I don't know how that comes to be.
I guess like you talk about it before you get married, I guess. I don't, you know, I mean, really trying to find like the... Well,
you know, generally speaking, you meet somebody.
Or is it common in Utah? Like, is that like a common... Not so much like her like beating the children. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like little things like...
of like teaching them responsibility
the truth
in this type of way.
Yeah. Is that a Utah thing? Someone told me.
I mean...
Because I got raised by a strict mother. Like, my mother was strict. Like, well, strict in some senses. But, like, you messed up, you're going to get punished type thing.
Right. There's a consequence to the action.
Yes.
But it's not something that is... I don't know where I was going with that. Continue.
But it's not like my mom didn't make me get on all fours and scrub the floorboards because it was painful to me. Like, that's just not...
Right. It's not, she's not giving you consequences just so you'll suffer.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Anyway, they're being charged with 6 felony counts of child abuse.
Mm-hmm. And Ruby was at her first hearing, and she was being held. And so it was like,
she looks scared shitless.
Live. What do you call that? Like, she was on camera. She wasn't physically in the courtroom.
Yeah, they did it over like a monitor.
She did look scared.
She looked scared. She looked shitless. Scared. Like, and Jody did too. Jody was very much like...
I mean, she's probably thinking like, why am I here? You know what I mean? Because she so firmly believes in her ideologies that she's like, this makes no sense.
I think she knows. I think deep down she knows what they were doing, and she knows that they were...
How is she on board with it, though? Like, that's some serious stuff.
Yeah.
You know? To have even, like, a slight question of, is this morally right? Or, you know, that would keep most people from... jumping on board. I'm going to play this clip from Fox 13 Utah.
Right now we do have a breaking news update on the cases against Ruby Franke, the judge in the child welfare case in Provo has sealed all hearings and documents related to the case. The judge's order says the decision is based on protecting the best interests of the children and providing a fair, impartial, and private process for everyone involved. Family members may attend after their relationship to the children has been verified.
So basically, the trial is kind of going to be on lockdown. Like, we're not going to get much from it because they're keeping it like under wraps, essentially.
I feel like all court cases should be a public show. I really do.
I don't know. I'm anxious to see how this plays out. I mean, they'll be found guilty. I'll be extremely shocked if they're not. I just hope the kids are okay.
I'm sure they are now.
I wonder what they're going through. You know what I mean? Because the fact that their son broke out of a window and went to a neighbor's house, they I don't know. But I can see how a kid might be maybe feels like I deserve this, or like my parents are right, or depending on what their household was like to live there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're raised from a baby to 12 with
this,
then
that's probably
that's what you think is okay.
Right.
So for him to go out and get police and stuff, he knew that something, I think deep down somewhere, something's not right.
It's like
your intuition or whatever is
it's like if you have friends at school, you talk about stuff with your friends. They tell you what their home life is like.
Yeah, but they were homeschooled.
That's true.
After a while.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, do they have internet access?
I would think so, with the YouTube channel.
I don't know.
I don't either, man. The whole thing is just wild to me. I just wish that they both go to hell. They can go. They both deserve it. They both deserve jail time. That's more or less, not hell, but jail time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure. Absolutely. You can't do things like that and then get to be a free man.
No. And I'm glad their name is ruined.
Yeah.
She'll never have a career after this.
Nope. Neither of them. Nope. Because everybody will know them as
child abusers.
Yep.
And that's something you don't play with.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, it really, and again, we don't know what their lives are like. We don't know what Ruby's sisters tried to do or did or whatever, but how do you not step in if you know that it's so severe?
Yeah.
And you just kind of sit by and go.
That's one thing that we all
wrong.
Can come together on is like a group of 80 different people who have different viewpoints on life. We can all come together and agree you don't mess with children.
No. Yeah.
I'm sure there's serial killers out there. They're like, I'll kill anybody, but not children.
Yeah.
I won't touch a child.
You just don't play with that.
Yeah. That's why child abusers and stuff in jail are treated the worst.
They have to be put at and especially if they do some really heinous crimes, they have to put them in a really maximum security.
Yeah, because
otherwise they'll be killed before their trials, People don't play. I don't know. That's really the only. There's not much of an update other than just that layout of the case.
Yeah, we just briefly went over it. We didn't have facts going into it.
No. But I mean, it's all over the internet.
Yeah.
So
literally just search up 8 passengers and there's probably thousands of videos right now on it. Speaking of that, there's a girl, I watch a podcast and they're talking about a girl named Joy Sparkles or something. And she made over 80 videos in a 3-day period on just this.
Oh, wow.
And she's the type, it's not a good thing. She's very stalker
Obsessive
type. And also very, you have to look her up. She's very much says she had not cancer, what was it? Some type of disease or something. and then she got cured by meditating or something. Like, she's just that type that like makes up, the type that says I have cancer and I really don't, and was healed through the thought process of I don't have it and then the tumor went away type thing. I can't stand people like that.
Oh my gosh. She made 80, was it TikToks?
80 TikToks in like a 2-day span.
Oh my God. Just like giving her
And like,
points or
and like saying facts, like has over 500,000 followers, and saying things like it's been confirmed they're in a relationship, Jody and Ruby, and like just like, I want to say heinous, but like awful things that are not been proven and or factual.
Right. What's her name?
Joyce Sparkles, I think is her name.
Let's look her up on the old TikTok, shall we?
And then she posted a video like, this is proof of her abusing her children. And it said, and it's a video of Ruby saying, I love cuddling you because you're so hot. And she just meant that she took it out of context. The context was her kid's body temperature was so warm that she likes cuddling her kid because they're so warm. And I'm like, I've said that. Doesn't mean I'm abusing my child.
Taking it out of context.
Yes, and she posts stuff like that.
I can't find her.
It's like Joy
Barcelo?
No.
Wrong person.
Let me see if I can Google her.
Just trying to make stuff up to get more views.
Joy Sparkles. JoySparklebs.
Joyce Sparkles. I thought you were saying Joyce Barkles.
No, Joy Sparkles.
Oopsie. Joy Sparkle Shine.
Yeah.
Wow. Golly, she does have a lot of videos. I'm like looking through them now. Sorry for the long pause, guys. Oh gosh, she's done some on Eugenia.
Oh, the anorexic girl?
Yeah.
Dude, that's whole thing is just makes me mad.
I don't know how she's still
alive.
Yeah, I hate to say that.
I do too. And I used to feel so bad for her, but she's like, she pops up on my For You page.
She does me too. And
it makes me mad because she's like glorifying.
She is
what she's going through.
And I saw this girl make a TikTok, and this is like really messed up, y'all. This girl made a TikTok, and she kind of had a valid point. Eugenia does these lives, like these live streams, and people in the comments like tell her to move heavy things because she's so unbelievably thin. Like that's an understatement. Like, I don't know how she's still living. And they think she's making money off of it.
She is.
And
she's sexualizing it too. That's really irritating.
That's where I was going with that, because apparently people like to watch her move heavy things, but they like it in a sexual way.
Like, she was wearing lingerie the other day in a live, and I was like, there's children that watch you. Not so much what she's wearing, whatever, but like you're making it seem like what's going on with you is okay when it's not.
Right. And if you like, she really, when people talk to her about it, like Shane Dawson did that whole thing with her. If you notice, like, she really evades the questions and the comments. Like, she'll talk about a little bit, like very surface stuff, but she avoids it. If people like ask her dead on, like, why are you this way? Or like, are you...
And I know it's like a mental illness. Like, I know it's like, at this point, is it her fault? No, I don't. There's something not clicking there. But she's went to rehabs and stuff.
I just don't get it.
People need to stop giving her the attention.
Yeah.
She needs help, like really bad help. And her family
is doing...
She needs to be admitted. Like, they need to 5150 her.
What does that mean?
Like, where they take you against your will.
Oh. Yeah.
And like hospitalize you.
She
and
needs some
you don't have
help.
rights anymore at that point. 5150, I think, is more like mental health, like suicidal stuff. But in the same thing, I mean, like, they just need to court order take her
to be admitted, right? Like, not voluntary. Because she won't do it.
No, she'll never do it. She did it. I want to say she did get,
I think she talked about it in that Shane Dawson thing.
Yeah, where she went to rehab.
I haven't watched it since that first came out, but
it's just really irritating because, like, she's getting off on it, and it's not okay.
No, it's not. There's no, I mean,
I feel like I'm being super judgmental in this one, but
no, it's just, it's
she's sick.
Like very, and she's gonna lose her life. That's not something you can get back.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna have, like, she's so young. She's got an entire life ahead of her. But she's never gonna be able to do anything. You know what I mean?
She's literally a walking skeleton.
I just hate to see people waste away
their
lives.
And my thing with that is, I feel bad for her in that sense, but, like, she's glorifying it.
If she's, like, if she is living her life the way she wants to, whatever. Like, everybody had free will. We get to make that choice on our own. But the problem is she's glorifying it and making it seem like it's an okay thing to do.
And it's not.
That's an extremely unhealthy thing to teach
children.
And who's on the internet?
Children.
Literally everyone. Don't get me started about the internet and kids, dude. I believe kids should not be on the internet. Kids should not be on the internet, and that's my firm belief.
Yep, I agree. Except my kids on YouTube all the time. But still, I agree.
Everything is accessible.
It is.
And what that does, Zach and I talk about this all the time. Like, we grew up and we had computer lab, you know what I mean? But I didn't have a phone until I was 12.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have unlimited internet access. So I'm very grateful that that's molded my brain in the way that it has. Mm-hmm. But having just unlimited, there's so many horrible things online. And the way that shapes a young, impressionable mind, like this, that I've never had more of a firm stance on anything, I think.
Yeah.
I'm very pro keep your kids off the internet.
Yeah.
Not that that'll ever happen, but, you know, because everything's online now.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they get a computer at school to take home.
Yeah, exactly.
He got it in kindergarten.
Isn't that wild?
Wild. Like 3 years ago, he was showing me his Spotify playlist at school that he has on his computer.
It just is so worrisome. Yep. The world's just changing very fast. I feel like back in my day,
yeah,
you know, we didn't have Spotify playlists.
We had LimeWire. Anyway,
I had Metamorphosis on CD by Hilary Duff.
Metamorphosis.
Do you remember Video Now? It was like a portable DVD player, but it was like handheld.
Uh-huh.
And you would get those little discs, and it would only play episodes of shows.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh, I had one of those, and it was,
I know when they played like little 30 seconds of songs.
No, let me show you. Hang on. And I only had 2 discs, and it was 2 episodes of The Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh, that's where it's at.
Video Now. Man, I wish I still had one of these things. It was so cool.
That and SpongeBob. No, I've never seen that.
You put the little disc in there, and then it plays the episode.
Oh, okay.
It's just like a little portable DVD player, but it was handheld.
My favorite shows were SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh my gosh, I loved Fairly Odd Parents. And before they made like colored ones, but at first they were just black and white. And it was just like pixels. Like the screen was just pixels. Man, that's it. Now in color. Man. Yeah,
tired.
I'm
just gonna be a short one, y'all.
It was a good episode, I feel like.
It's kind of down.
Well, yeah.
Not only did I say they need to go to hell, I also insulted the church. So come at me, people. I don't mean any of it.
We would just like to say again, we're two girls.
Just two girls.
We're just two girls. Okay? We just have opinions. I wouldn't even go as far as to say they're educated.
Yeah,
opinions.
For real.
Okay? We're just coming up with things up here in our noggins. So it's all speculation. Please don't take any of this as fact.
They have not been found guilty yet. So innocent until proven guilty, but they were completely guilty.
Period. Anyway, guys.
I'm intrigued to see how this will end, though.
Yeah.
Or what comes out.
Not that we'll get much from it because they've already, said that it's going to be a tightly held case. But
yeah, but they'll have to have some media in there.
Yeah.
Like reporters that are just handwriting stuff. So stuff will come out.
Right. We just won't get to see, like, the good stuff.
Yeah. Somebody will leak something.
That's bad to say, but we'll get some info from it. But we'll, as we've done with the others, if there's any information, we'll touch on it.
I hope Kevin gets charged too with something.
He'll have to. I mean, he was up until the last year, 2 years. I mean, he was prevalent.
Yeah.
He was doing...
But they're not going to charge her with child abuse or taking a bedroom away, unfortunately.
She played herself by putting all that online.
Yep. Not real abuse, though. Like, it's abuse. Like, do not get me wrong. But in the eyes of the law, I do not think that's abuse. Which is ridiculous, but...
I don't know. I think her kid breaking out of the house with duct tape on his ankles good enough.
Yeah. But I just worry it's all going to be pinned on Jody and not Ruby because Ruby was not present. She'll get charged with something because she left her children in that situation.
Like you said, she'll never have a life again.
Yeah. Amen, sister.
She'll have to really lock it down.
Yep.
And completely, they'll have to move.
And all these attorney fees and stuff like that are going to cost her a fortune.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She will not ever have a platform again.
Yep.
Maybe for the crazies in somebody's basement, but never online. Anyway, that's the update, guys. 8 passengers. If y'all have any recommendations or comments, anything you guys want us to know or talk about or tell us or ask, please do so.
Hit us up.
It's dry on our DMs.
Very dry.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye.
Bye.